happens, he might have forgotten, so he might have misplaced the statement also. This happens in our case also. We may often forget where you have kept some particular book or note, and at the time of examination you fumble here and there. That also happens with the businessman. And so what we should do is, you may better enclose the copy of the statement again for his kind perusal and kind consideration and for a prompt action. So I think I may read it out for you. This just to remind you that an amount of this and this is due for payment in view of above subject. So subject line is self clear. We believe that an oversight might have delayed the payment. This is again a gentle word. So you care for him, but you don't blame him. So that is courtesy part. We would like to request you to settle your account by July 10, 2010 and oblige. And again you can see I have omitted the formal parts simply because the slide would not allow me to go for that. You can understand it, and it is implied that you write it properly. And at the end of the letter, what you do is you send a statement, the copy of the statement for his kind perusal, so that if he has forgotten to pay, if he might have placed it somewhere and which is not available and not handy for me, then the copy of the statement may help him to write a check very promptly. So that is the first stage of the collection letter. I think the things are very much clear. Again I may remind you, if you got any questions on this topic, we may discuss it later on at the end of this. I mean some 5 to 10 minutes would be there for the interactions. Now settlement of the account. I told you that most customers, they are willing to pay. There are very few who would not be willing to pay, and what they may do is they may go on changing the loyalties, which is not part of discussion of this particular talk, and let us keep that part aside. Now let us go in a formal. We expect that the customer is always right, he is always honest, and so he may send the check or the payment in due course. So that is the kind of follow up letter on, I mean the reply letter on the part of the customer. So he is writing the reply. It means he is settling the account. It means he is paying the dues. It means he is now sending you the money, check or otherwise. So please see statement of account June 2010. That is, if the moment you receive this letter, you are very much clear that yes, you may find a smile on your face because it is settlement and it gives you money. So everyone would be very very happy, and everyone would be eagerly awaiting for this type of letters in the business. When it is first month kuch mitha ho jaye, for example, you know, and that is the same kind of letter which may bring a very funny, very happy smile on the face of the businessman because after this settlement. So I think I may read it out for you. See, we are enclosing a check for rupees this and this, and you may also better give the details. I have given check number 12345 6. I think it is very funny figure, Sri Ram Bank, Ayodhya. It is for sake of clarity. I told you earlier that we must observe some precautions, so better give the details of the bank, check number, branch, etc., so that the customer is always, I think the business firm always is clear regarding the details towards the final settlement. See the word final settlement. It means when you pay this much of amount, everything is settled. Now there is no due on either side. So final settlement, that is again a part of clarity. I told you that we must observe some clarity. Final settlement of the account in view of your statement for the June 2010. This line is very important. Kindly acknowledge the receipt of the payment. Actually what happens, generally businessmen send a acknowledgement receipt, but again this is formal procedure. You may just remind him that better send the acknowledgement of the payment so that there is no problem in future. So that is a legal document also, so we must write that way. And I have again say the last line, enclosure as above. Because you are enclosing the check, you must mention it at the end of the business letter. I think you know it is an optional part. So you write enclosure when it is one, there is one in the letter, and so you are enclosing the check for this much amount. You may write as above. Alternatively, you may also write check number so and so and so for this much amount, but the easy way is write as above. So that is the formal things of the business letter when you are writing the collection letter. And I may remind you again, If you got any problems, any questions on this topic, I would be happy to answer, and you can see the contact number on your screen. Now next topic is sales letters. Sales letter, they are very important nowadays, they are in fashion today. You can see in the slide, sales letter have several objectives at one go. Please remember that you are writing sales letters, the final end is sales promotion, which I have mentioned at the bottom. But before that, it is not that the moment you write, you get your sales boosted. No. What you have to do, there are several objectives of the sales letter. I may read it out. You can see in the slide also. So you advertise your product. It may be service also, not only product. For example, you are using a pen, that is product. I mean product. But if the insurance company is there, then it is service. If the bank advertisement is there, it is a service. So you tell something regarding your product or service you provide. So first and foremost objective of the sales letter is advertising. Why you write sales letters? Very simple reason, they are very cheap. If you go for ads in the TV or mass media or maybe in print media, then it is very costly. It goes to the lakhs of rupees. You have to spend lakhs of rupees on this type of advertisements on the media. So the easy way is nowadays, very popular nowadays, is sales letter. There are other objectives also, you can see in the slide. It arouses the curiosity among the would-be customers. I don't write customers, would-be customers, because you write this letter to so many people at the same time. For example, I'm a businessman and I'm writing about a mobile phone which I have launched. So what I can do is I can write letters to so many people. Not that all are my customers, but maybe some 5%, 10%, maybe 50%, they are my customers. So today they are not, but today I'm not sure whether they will come. But maybe I expect that he would be my customer tomorrow. So the word is to be customer in future. So you must arouse curiosity why you want to sell this product, or why the customer must buy this particular product, or he must opt for this particular service. So the reason is you must arouse curiosity. Why? Interesting. You must make it very interesting, and then only you can arouse curiosity. That is number 2 objective. Now third is attract the customer to buy the product. You arouse curiosity among your would-be customers, but you must also insist that he should buy. You must show the features, you must show how it differs from the other products, you must show why this is most compatible, why customer savvy, so that you attract the customer to buy, and he may go to your office, to your sales depot or sales outlet, and he is attracted to buy. And to conclude, after all, sales letter are meant for sales promotion only, because the final end of this sales letter is sales promotion. It is not a passing kind of letter that this is the product and this is the product, and if you are interested, no. You are firm that the final end of this letter is sales promotion, because you want to sell, you want to increase the sale, you want to increase your customer base. You write the letter. What happens when you write a letter, then it creates some bondage between the recipient and the writer. So he feels that yes, the company cares for me, he is caring for you, and you feel privileged, and the final end is served, that is sales promotion. So the letter is, sales letters are generally meant for sales promotion, and they have been very popular in these days. I think you must be very often receiving this type of letters, especially when during the festival season. For example, you get number of pamphlets in the newspapers. In a way, they are sales letters only, because they tell you, they advertise the product, they try to convince you that yes, this is the product you must buy during special season, I mean festival season. So it is very important part of the business letter. Now sales letters are kind of different type of letters, and you may not compare, and they are not as equal as other letters, so they differ in many respect. For example, I write a collection letter because I talked about it and things are very easy now for us. That collection letter is one to one. I have got one from one customer, Mr. Alap. Then what happens is, by the end of the month, I may write him the collection letter, Mr. Alap and company, or Alap and company, and this is the due. This is one to one. But in sales letter, it is one to many. So you write the same letter to so many customers. So it is a kind of general letter. So please remember how it differs from other types of letters, for example inquiry and replies and complaints and orders and collection letters. So number one, it is one to many type of business letter. So one part is writing to so many people, to so many parties. So recipients may be plenty of them, thousands of them may be. So that is first and foremost difference between sales letters and other types of business letters. So please remember, it is one to many. And because it is one to many, the other point is, it may or it may not follow the structure of the letter. I talked about it earlier that business letter always follows some specific structure of the letter. But because it is one to many, you can see, so it may or it may not follow the conventional structure pattern of a business letter. So for example, how it differs? The letterhead and inside address may become optional. If the writer is willing to write the inside address, generally he is not aware to whom he is writing, because it is one to many, thousands of them are there who will receive the letter. So inside address may be missing. Very often letterhead may be also missing. So what happens is, they are optional part. He may not follow, generally they don't follow the conventional structure pattern of the business letter. That is why this letter is a special letter, because it is one to many, number one, and it may or it may, generally it does not follow the conventional structure pattern. So in case you have forgotten mentioning the inside address, you have no reason to concern. You may feel free, okay, because it is a sales letter, it is one to many, so you are never sure of the recipient. In that case, they become optional. So these two things I think we must remember. So it differs from other letters. Now some more points are there, you can see in the slide. Generally they are illustrative. For example, I am writing a collection letter, then you don't need any figures, you don't want to show the picture, you just write the figure and details. But here, because it is sales letter, you want to promote yourself, you want to boost your sales, and you must be illustrative regarding the your product. So illustrative, it must tell you the details, it is full of pictures, generally in the colorful print. Collection letter, for example, is plain sheet, A4 size for example, and it is never in color. But here it is a sales letter, you want to attract the customer, so it must be illustrative and in colorful print. Next is, it is general yet particular. What happens, I told you it is one to many, but if you are aware of particular customer, for example Dr. XYZ, then you may write it in the salutation, dear Dr. XYZ. What happens is, it may create a very good impact on the side of the would-be customer. He may feel privileged, yes, because he has addressed the letter to you personally. So in that case it becomes particular. Generally it is general letter, but very often it may be the you can see in the slide, it is a particular letter also. And very important part is, no return reply, but only would-be customer's action is expected. When you write a letter of inquiry, then you receive the reply that yes, these are your solutions. But here what you expect is no return reply. You expect your customer to reach the shop, to reach your office. That is expected, that is sales promotion. So that is also kind of a very important part of this letter. So how it differs, these are some of the points. You don't generalize that yes, we would expect your prompt reply. No, what you expect is a prompt action. No return reply, but prompt physical action. You lead your would-be customer or the reader of the recipient of the sales letter to your shop, to your sales outlet, to your office, and you offer him your services. You insist him to buy your product. That is the final goal. So in this respect, the sales letter also differs. You can see in the next slide how we should write the sales letter. It is very important. You can see in the slide. Um, a sales letter must forcefully appeal the would-be customers. It is not general thing. You must be very much forceful. It must, number two, appeal the customer. Yes, it is for me. It is meant for me. So it must forcefully appeal the would-be customer to buy, to go for the service or product. Number two, arouse curiosity among the recipients. There are so many recipients of the letter, but you must arouse curiosity. Why this? Oh, this is very interesting. Yes, you would like to know more. Yes, you must write the letter, sales letter, in a way that it arouses curiosity among the would-be customers. Provide all the factual details of the product. You may not be very partial, you will not be very brief. Provide all the factual details, and it may help you to lead your customer to the I may give you a couple of examples of sales letter, because we are running rather short of time. There is one specimen letter only. You can see I have omitted all the regular parts and structure part, just to I have gone to the body part, and I may read it out. Fed up with the short lasting charging of the battery of your mobile phone? That is the problem. Then you arouse curiosity. Yes, now say goodbye to frequent charging, because that is a problem. And that is why what you do, you give some options. Introducing Alap mobiles for busy professionals and young generation like you, for never ending chats. I think these are just some specimen writing for you. Your professor in the classroom will tell more about these topics. I would be happy if you got any problem. I would like to